Yo, man, what's going on? It's your boy Dan Diddy, man. Sees the light twice. Man, so it's finally here. I've been super amped about this for a while. Everybody in Discord knows how excited I am about this whole thing. I said I was gonna binge watch it. So what do you think I did? I binge watched it. I watched all 8 episodes back to back to back, every single one of them. So how did I feel about it? First of all, I feel bad if you don't have YouTube. Just do a free trial of YouTube Premium, all right? You can watch all the episodes right now. You shouldn't have to wait until June, July to see all 8 episodes. You know, especially after watching episode 1. Episode 1 is kind of like a teaser, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely don't want to be held up like that. So you gotta just do the free trial, man. Just do the free trial just so you can watch it. So I wrote a couple notes. This is one take. I'm not cutting anything. So basically, the way it goes is, first episode is kind of just like an introduction, kind of like just to let you know what the documentary is about. We get to see the girls kind of getting ready for the show, some clips from stuff from parts of the show, just them talking. If you don't know anything about them, I'd actually say go and watch episode 4. And then come back, watch episode 1, watch episode 4 again when you get to it, and just watch all the way to 8. And you'll pretty much be up to speed on twice. Not all the way up to speed if you ain't heard the music, but it'll give you some type of launch pad point. But the first episode is kind of just like, you know, just talking about a couple things, man. And Jung, she almost got me, man. That was really sad to hear about what happened with her grandmother, man. I was just like, man, y'all trying to just break somebody in the first episode, huh? But, you know, it's good to see her persevering now and her actually living her dream now. So the first episode kind of just a teaser, just kind of sets you up to want to watch the rest of the episodes. And then episode 2, you know, this is kind of where we see the girls like grind all the way from being kids to being what they are now. Like, I love the moment at the very end of the episode where they show them dancing as a kid and then show them dancing as an adult. That was really dope. And there was just a whole bunch of other things too that happened too. Like, Gio started off the episode and just listening to her, you know, just talk about her struggles of training for so long and just thinking it was gonna happen, and about to form a subunit and someone getting hurt. I think Jung Young hurt her leg or something like that right the day before the video shoot, so the whole subunit got scrapped. And you know, it's like I felt her pain just listening to her cry, man. And it was just like, man, like the whole show is just like you just see like these girls just go through so much just to get, and it's just not twice either. All artists go through it, but it's just cool to see Twice's take on it. And I feel like they use each other for comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like, they even mention it a couple times in the show, but it's really cool to just see how their bond keeps everybody intact. But yeah, that second episode was really dope. You could see some of the girls really needed work dancing. Like Diane was doing this dance, and it was just like, okay, you got that concept of rhythm down and everything like that, but you know, the dance was kind of like, you need some work. But Momo looked like she knew what she was doing. Mina looked like she had some form of ballerina training at some point. Sana looked like she knew what she was doing. Che Young knew what she was doing. So it was just like, there was just like inklings, and you could just kind of see the seeds being planted for who they would become. Sana is a sweetheart this whole show. Like, I didn't know her voice was so light. It's not like I haven't listened to her speak before. I just felt like, for some reason, it just clicked today. Like, man, she has like a really soft, higher voice, you know. But aside from that, episode 2 was really good as well. I really enjoyed it. Episode 3, this kind of showed how the girls pretty much were going from being strangers to being sisters in this group. You know, the struggles of them kind of coming up together. And I mean, just think about that for a second. Like, you win a competition, you're in a group, you barely speak with the girls in the group. The Japanese members are kind of just now learning Korean, and they don't feel like they can all the way relate. And then you have the Korean girls, you know, girls like Jung Young that's actually kind of introverted, and girls like Chewy that's shy, And, you know, then they all have to figure out how to mesh, you know what I'm saying? And you get thrown in a group and it's just like, man, all right, we're here now. You look around and you're sharing rooms with a whole bunch of people you don't really know that well, you know? So, and it was just cool to just see all of that. And I feel like this was kind of like us seeing the foundation bricks for what would eventually bring Mina back after everything that happened with her later on in the show. Well, not even in the show, in real life, but, you know, we kind of got to see the building blocks for their sisterhood and how they look out for each other and how they shelter each other. And even outside of watching stuff like this, like I've seen like when they were performing, when Mina came back in Japan and like everybody was holding her hand and rubbing her back and giving her words, you know, saying nice words in her ears. And it's just like they were pretty much just saying like, yo, we here for you. We got your back. And that is so dope. But yeah, this episode was action packed as well. You just got to see how different people interact with each other and everything like that. Oh yeah, I can't remember, can't forget to mention that we got to see a couple of their moms on the second episode too, when they were showing them coming up from being, you know, a kid up until now. So that was also cool. I didn't know that we were going to get that at all. But yeah, so at this point I was super into the show, sitting on the edge of my seat with my trusty Twice pillow. Episode 4 is the episode I told you, if you don't know much about Twice, to go check out. But this is the episode that we get to learn about each individual member. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time, but when people tend to talk about themselves, they don't find themselves interesting. So I could see why everybody wouldn't spend too much time speaking about who they were or who they thought they were. It was cool to see things like, you know, my bias, Chae Young. I knew she drew, but I didn't know the drawings were that dope. Like they were some fire drawings, and I think she should put like a book out or something like that. But it's just cool to see, you know, some of the girls are picking up knitting and, you know, just seeing what they do to, you know, just kind of keep their minds sane. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing to always remember, and I say it all the time, is like, yes, they're superstars, but they're also regular people too. You know what I'm saying? We seen that. We seen Nayeon getting sick right before the show. You know what I'm saying? I think Nayeon was almost got sick before a show as well. It's just, they're normal people. We should treat them like normal people. I know you'd be happy to see them. I'd be ecstatic to meet Twice, but we should always treat them like regular people, because you don't want them feeling like they're in a zoo or they can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm off track. I ramble a lot. Sorry. Episode 4, amazing, great. I know by this point there was one thing I kept noticing from the beginning all the way to this point. When there's cameras kind of just hanging around and stuff like that, you notice Momo always waves at the camera. Like she's really aware of where the cameras are, waving and saying hi. Even like when they're coming off a stage, she's always at least the one person. If there's usually more than one, but if there's only one, it's gonna be Momo, where she always waves at the camera. And she really, and I mean, I've noticed this from the jump, but she seems very well reserved and very humble and very gracious and very mature when she speaks. You know what I'm saying? Like she carries herself as if she was the oldest member in the group when she speaks. And it's really cool. But when she's with the girls, you see her having fun. You know, I see the video of them ordering food, and Momo, I think it was Momo and Sana, if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to do the Itsy dance behind her back while I think it was Diane on the phone calling for food. And, you know, and she's smiling while she's doing it. So you see Momo's having her fun. She's got her glasses on, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a cool episode as well. Number 5, so this was more so seeing the prep, and I felt like this was the beginning blocks of what may have pushed Mina over the edge, and I'll explain what I mean by that. But we got to see the concert prep, but I think what it was like they said, there was so many changes, there was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and a lot of that stuff just adds up, and it builds up and builds up, and then everybody has a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? And I guess at the time, Mina just had enough and she needed a break, which I'm glad she got. I'm glad she's 100% healthy at this point. She could go back on tour with the group. She's gonna be in the video. I mean, the new video that they got coming out. By the way, I just want to say that I believe it's going to be a dance the night away style vibe. It's gonna be something along the lines of that in a poppy record. I think it's gonna hit a more mature vein as well, since they're getting older and they want to do, you know, more music that evolves with them. And JYP kind of hinted at that on episode 8. But yeah, we got to see setting up for the shows, and man, they really amazed me by the fact that they do different choreography for every show. I didn't know that. It may not have been every single show, but that's just amazing in itself. And that's a lot of stress to, we have this song, we're gonna perform it, but the choreography is gonna look different this way. That's a lot of stress to put under people. So I can see somebody like myself just being completely overwhelmed. Like, you know, Mina said that when she was going to sleep, she was seeing the choreography. That's not a good sign. I remember when I was working like 2 jobs and you just forget, you lose track of time, you don't know what the hell's going on, you forget what day it is. I feel like that might have been the point that they were at with all the choreography changes and everything that they were adding to just kind of like to impress everybody with their show. And, you know, that's one thing I've noticed about Korean culture. They're really like, they want to make sure that you get your money's worth when you come to see them, that they give you their all. They don't want to disappoint the fans or anything like that in any way, shape, or form. They always talk about how they want to do their best. And that's always reassuring, knowing that you want to go see these people perform, no matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? You want to know that they're giving, it's not, you know, some people don't even care if they're giving your all. They just want to see them do the show, you know. But that's cool to know that they're actually going through that, and just seeing all the hard work that goes into it out. Like, most people don't see it that way. And it's like, that's why, I mean, I know I'm really hard on artists that make songs that I don't like, but I usually try to be at least somewhat respectful, and I don't talk bad about the artist. I'll talk bad about the song, but not the artist per se, just because it takes so much work to put all of this stuff together. You know, the song that takes us 3-4 minutes to listen to sometimes takes 3 to 4 to 15 days to record at times. And then it has to go through a mixing process, mastering process. Then you have to do all of these photo ops, video shoot, all of this stuff. It's a lot to go through, man. And just to put it out and people hate it, it kind of like destroys you, because you're human and you don't want to hear that your stuff isn't good enough. And they're performing in empty arenas, getting ready, performing, practicing, making sure everything's on point, going through the whole show to make sure they can get the wardrobe changes and make sure they make time and everything like that. That is super impressive. I know people that do, you know, dry runs of performances, but they don't necessarily go through the whole performance. So that was really impressive. So episode 6, I think they went to Manila and Singapore. So this is pretty much the episode where we kind of saw that so much travel, the long flights, all of the practice and all of that stuff, the lack of sleep, and how it wears on people when they're on tour. You know, the mind is a delicate thing. It needs sleep, it needs rest, it needs water, it needs food in order for it to operate. And if you start sucking one of those things out, you know, just to make time for, and that's how shows are always booked. They're so close to each other. They have to hit so many things. And I think they should try to knock that down. And like, maybe you get like 2 shows a week. I get it. That's a lot more money because you got to stay on the road longer and stuff like that. But something's got to be figured out so we don't burn artists out and we don't run into issues where, you know, somebody needs to take time off because they're burnt out. You got to get adequate amount of time. That's just my thoughts on that. But yeah, episode 6, you know, just seeing them all kind of like just having these moments where it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's just like, everybody knows that feeling where you just want to just say, man, F it, I don't feel like it. But, you know, just the fact that all of them are together and they could kind of push each other, that's actually really dope. So episode 7 is the episode that we actually see the U.S. leg of the tour, where they kind of come to the States, Chicago, Jersey. They didn't come to Atlanta, so that makes me feel better knowing that they came here, but they didn't come here, and I missed it. But yeah, Chicago, they went to I think they went to LA. I think they only did 3 stops in the US: Chicago, Newark, LA. That might have been it. I'm not 100% sure though. I have to check that. And we also got to see, this was when Mina left the tour, and you can see the girls were really hurt because, I mean, for the most part, they talked about it for the rest of the show, or the rest of the episode, you know, when they went around Chicago and they were like, you know, we wish Mina was here. And it was really heartfelt just to see that they care about each other that much, and that sisterhood just showing again, peaking again, you know, and just seeing how they ended the US tour with a bang, killed it, crushed it, and they seemed kind of burnt out, but they were pretty happy that they were going to Japan. So episode 8, which is the final episode, was the Japanese performance, and that's the performance that Mina returned for. Everybody was excited. I remember I heard the news and I was just like, word? Like, is that real? Is this fake? You know, you got to check Instagram or Twitter for the JYP Twice page just to see if the information is true. But yeah, she was back. They did the performance. They killed it. Looked like it was super fun. You know, Mina, Sana, and Momo got to perform in front of a home crowd. So I'm pretty sure they were happy about that. And it just seemed like an amazing show. And they went to, I want to say, Singapore as well. No, they went to Singapore on another episode. But yeah, the episode with the Japan performance was also really dope. And we kind of had the conclusion of the show, which kind of just left a positive note in there to kind of just like set you up and see how happy they are right now. They kind of had their break. They're ready to make a comeback. They just came back and from shooting their music video, so we should be getting that June 1st. Going to be pre-ordering that album for sure. But yeah, it was a dope series, man. I really enjoyed the show. There was a couple things that I thought were really nice touches. So we got the vocal coach in there, and she talked to us a little bit. And if I'm not mistaken, she was one of the judges on the show 16. That might have been her. We got the choreographer that kind of talked about how easy they are to work with, which was really cool. And I liked the addition of JYP. And I feel like every single time he came on, he gave you some really good insight to how the girls operate, how they think, why he chose to put them together the way he chose to put them together. And man, that dude is a mastermind, man, because JYP, man, they got some serious artists. But Twice is obviously my favorite, and Stray Kids is number 2 for me from JYP. NCT 127, super dope Anyway, Twice, super dope show, man. I'm so amped. I know a U.S. tour is probably not happening anytime this year based on the way things are going, which is extremely disappointing. Hopefully they can do something along the lines of what Super M did a couple weeks ago. I see there's a festival coming. My man Kang is going to be there, so I'm going to definitely have to check that out. There's a lot of things that can happen. If Twice does a stage performance and it's like $25, $30 for you to watch from home, count me in. I'm there. I want to see it because I want to see one of these tours like when it's happening live. I'd rather be there, but you know, and I would love to interview them. I have a million questions, but that's neither here nor there. I was super excited. This documentary is finally here, man. Go out, check it out. Everybody stand Twice, become a once. Come over, join us over in Discord. Oh yeah, I got something. So I've been waiting for this. This is non-Twice related, actually. I ordered this a couple weeks ago. No, a couple months ago, actually. Completely forgot about it. What is it, you may ask? If it wants to come out. See that autograph right there? Yeah, man. That's my guy right there, Mark. Invoice. Posted for Mark. Now, I just need somewhere to put it because I have no place to put any of this stuff. This is numbered? No, it's not numbered, but that's dope, man. Got my man Mark's autograph. He's a genius. Taman said it himself. Shout out to Twice. I need to get some more Twice merch, man. This pillow is fire. K-Pop Store USA, what's up? Hope y'all can open soon, because I need some stuff, man. Thank you guys for watching, man. If y'all haven't seen the Twice doc, go watch every episode, please. We love you guys. Thank you.